I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my two kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me feed my fucking kids. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this fucking time. Now y'all want to tap out. Get the fuck out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a fucking boss. What the fuck I look like working when the government is here to help? Come on. Y'all send all that money to Iraq, Ukraine. Y'all funding all these wars. But when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to fucking help us? I need my fucking EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my fucking EBT. Stop fucking playing with me, yo.
It's my money and I need it now. Crazy. His boss must stand for broke on social systems.
Today, the Secretary of Agriculture had to go in front of Congress and talk about how they've eliminated at least 4.3 million people from SNAP due to fraud in improving the economy, which is obviously false. And honestly, when you look at the USDA data, SNAP participation has fell 3.5 million, and it's not due to economic changes or verifications or non-fraudulent things. It's hitting the biggest decline in decades because it's so hard to access the services for SNAP. And if anybody's ever had to call the food stamp office, the welfare, get anything done, it takes hours and hours and hours to get a real human being. Some word of advice to y'all: call at 7:59 a.m. Ring that phone at 7:59 a.m. You're gonna get a call, you're gonna get an answer. But anyway, and unemployment has stayed at 4%, a flat rate of 4%. So this is the biggest decline of SNAP participation in decades, with also some of the highest unemployment rate and no economic boom to even align with it. The last time participation felt like this is when there was like an economic boom, like a reason, but there isn't one, so it doesn't really make sense. And the way they were able to remove 4.3 million people from SNAP wasn't due to fraud. First, states have removed people because they are consistently and constantly doing income verifications now, because states are having to put a lot of the funding got shifted to the states. Now they have to fund SNAP out of their own tax dollars, right? Which is usually something the federal government pays. Number two, lawful immigrants who have lawful status in the United States are no longer eligible for SNAP. So they're paying taxes to SNAP and they're not allowed to use it. Also, too, they want your grandma and your grandpa to work. So old granny at 64 years old, she's got to work 20 hours a week now. At first, she didn't. She could work her little 2 to 3 morning shifts and call it a day. Now she's got to work like 4 or 5 hour shifts or whatever the fuck grandmas do. I don't know. The big beautiful bill is so funny because it adds to the deficit, like the debt in America, 3.3 trillion. It saved no money. It actually gave the wealthy 4.3 trillion in tax cuts, whilst cutting SNAP and Medicaid, which is probably the 1 trillion difference.
Exactly. So that's why we say the rich gonna get richer just from that one bill alone. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. Just from that one bill. That's what set it off. Gonna set it off, and that set it off.
So what is the state doing, since it's redrawing maps also? And I'm just talking about all the states. They are taking from the bottom class, giving it to the wealthy, whilst diluting the impoverished class vote. And the impoverished class also includes black people. Now, 20% of Medicaid recipients are black. I know, only 20%, y'all. And also, too, and there is no food pantry. There is no food bank. There is no donations. There is no charity that can feed millions and millions of people a day. We're not talking just 4.3 million adults. They cut it for the children, too. And how are homeless people supposed to verify an income? And how are you supposed to find them to verify their income? I'm just asking. I got logistic questions about this bullshit. And it just sucks because like this shouldn't be the way it is, but it is, unfortunately.
Right. The homeless people that have zero, how can you verify that they have zero? Some of them are unbanked. Most of them unbanked. They might have a chime card, possibly, but it's a lot of them unbanked. They have no address. They're really on the streets for real. And then they cut it out to where they can't get junk food and things like that. So how can they even eat if they were to get food stamps? They can't get the things that used to come handy. Like when you outside, I mean, you're going to be eating chips, honey buns, and, you know, things that you don't have to heat up or cook. Maybe you can get a couple noodles, use the gas station coffee maker for the hot water or something, but that's all they really could do. It's just bad for the people that really need it. The people that really need it is bad for them. It's bad for the elderly people who really need it, that are going to have to find a job in an economy where there are no jobs, and they especially don't want to hire the older people. This is where a lot of people will start to suffer. This is where a lot of people will go hungry.
Last year's Republican centerpiece budget law is projected to cut $186 billion in federal spending on SNAP over the next decade. But it's not only about funding cuts. The new law changed eligibility criteria, like raising the age limit for work requirements from 54 to 64 and increasing the amount of documentation required to enroll. Since then, every state has seen a decline in people enrolled in SNAP, led by Arizona, where participation has fallen by 51%, according to some estimates. And those who are still eligible are receiving much lower benefits and often facing longer reauthorization times. How accurate is that?
So I would say that that's not accurate, and thank you very much for having me. So there are three main reasons why SNAP caseloads would decline. One is that the economy improves, since SNAP is designed to get smaller when the economy gets better. But the economy has not measurably improved since H.R. 1 passed in July of 2025. And we can all probably agree that affordability, including high costs of food, remain an enormous challenge for families in this country. Another reason SNAP caseloads could decline is that the rules change, and as a result, eligibility is constricted. That has happened. There are stricter time limits, meaning that folks have to prove they are working 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month to receive benefits. And the number of people subject to those time limits has gone up a lot. And that greatly increases the paperwork burden, since each month individuals have to document their hours and then the state has to certify it. And the third reason that SNAP caseloads could decline is that states take actions which contract eligibility. So states face an enormous fiscal penalty if they don't get their payment error rates under control. So that refers to how much a person is under or overpaid for their monthly SNAP benefits. As a result, some states like Arizona are being overzealous in their implementation of the rules, making it much harder for eligible people to obtain or maintain benefits. And at the same time, most states, including Arizona, are understaffed. So they lack the capacity to process all this paperwork. And so when a person is applying for the first time or recertifying or confirming their hours worked to comply with the time limit, there's a 30-day deadline. Even if an eligible person submits all the required information on time, if the state does not process it by the deadline, that person is automatically removed and has to start the process all over again.
Catch 22. You hear that? They're making it to where basically they don't have enough workers. They won't be able to process the paperwork fast enough. They're going to be in this constant loop of applying. You get it now? Basically, this is their way to not give out any benefits. The program is basically done. You might as well say nobody will be getting their SNAP. It's going to be that tight. Nobody probably will receive benefits. Going to make it nearly impossible for you to receive anything.
Come with me today to the food stamp office to see why they cut my food stamps off. So I'm at the defects office. Basically, they got to do with the food stamps. I did my renewal in April. I got my May food stamps. Tell me why I got embarrassed the other day. I swiped my EBT card. The bitch had $0 on it. Now I gotta do the investigation. My number is ticket number 80. So when I got in here, it was on 60. Just waiting patiently. I'm just trying to figure out what happens to my government credit card. Cause yeah, I need that. You feel me? Come with me. Let's see what's going on now. Let's go. Alright, I just left the defects office after waiting over an hour just to hear that they don't know my whereabouts. Get up to the lady. I say, yeah, did my renewal, did all my changes, put all my documentations in the system, got my stamps last month. This month I go big grocery shopping and my shit declined. So yeah, that's embarrassing. So well, let me look into the case so I could see what's going on. Now the bitch, supposedly my caseworker, fuck around and cut my stamps because she don't know my whereabouts. Now, mind you, if I failed to mention before, my whereabouts and all my information is on the piece of paper that she's saying she don't know where my whereabouts is. The change of the address has been updated. It's on the paper. All the documentations that the caseworker asked for is in the system. She said I'm gonna have to do a hearing. It could take up to 30 days. After I get the 30 days of hearing, it could take another 30 days just because of the calendar day. What in the fuck did I do to piss off the universe? Called my girl Burley. She on the phone right now with the commissioner. Somebody about to get this shit right. I don't know who's fucking up the church's money or fucking with the church's money, but don't fuck with mine. You dig? That was annoying as fuck. Now I'm on my way to go get some herbs and essence and shit like that so I could just calm my nerve and chill out, because nothing is lost in God's kingdom and this day shall pass too. So any of my TikTok friends, family, confidants going through something, man, don't let that shit defeat you. Just keep going. Don't give up. And stand your fucking ground. For real. And I don't give a fuck if you gotta go through Peter, the Paul, the Sam, the Joe, just to complete the mission. But make sure you doing everything that it take to complete the mission. It's your girl Tang Gang, baby. And that was my story time. I'm gonna see you in the next video.
If you allow them to feed you, you allow them to starve you. See, this is why our people should have been, and I'm talking about all the American people should have been got off the system. Now people don't know how they gonna eat. At the worst times ever. All that being lazy, all that I'm milking the system, all that feeling like you finessing. Now look where it's got 4-point-something million Americans. They thought they was getting over. That's what they wanted them to think. They were just waiting for the day where those systems would get cut out. And I knew it was coming. I knew eventually all of this would come to an end. All these programs, they would get rich off the American people, then cut them out. I knew that would happen. One by one, they're chopping them down. You know what I mean? And people that aren't on benefits gonna say, this not gonna affect me. Yes, it will, because these same people will be out in society targeting you. That's like when people would knock on the door. I would always, if they selling something or they want, can I write the leaves, whatever, I'm like, go ahead and pay them, because it's better that, they're trying to make an honest living than busting somebody over the head to eat, That's what's going to start happening now. It's going to be more and more violence, more and more people stealing, more and more people buzzing people over the head. It's about to be the jungle out here, though.
I know that I say I'm okay, but there's no way the proof of income that I'm submitting to y'all from my social media is disqualifying me for getting a proof of food stamps. State of Georgia, be for real. Please be for real. I am failing as an unemployed mother of 3. How y'all still denying me? Then when I was working, you make too much, you're good. Then when I only had 1 kid and I'm not working, you don't make enough, so we're going to give you some crumbs. Can I get a crumb? Please. Can I get a crumb? The prices are too high. Okay, help me help you. I do good. I won't sell it. I promise. Why do y'all keep denying me? I'm a stay-at-home mom. Y'all don't even know nothing about my husband. Don't tell them people that. Y'all don't know nothing about my husband. All y'all know is my maiden name. You know me as Maiden, not as wifey. You know what I'm saying? And y'all still denying me?
Already lost their food stamps, and starting December 31st, it gets so much worse. The One Big Beautiful Bill passed last July, and $1 trillion was cut from Medicaid, and $187 billion was cut from SNAP benefits. This is over the course of 10 years, and the thing that's stupid is that the debt the budget goes up $4 trillion. They didn't cut healthcare to save money. They cut it to give tax breaks to the top 1%, about a $50,000 tax cut per year. 74.9 million people are on Medicaid right now. Kids, pregnant women, disabled, people who are 64 years and younger, low income, and also people who are in between jobs. So starting December 31st, you're going to have to prove that you qualify, and you're going to have to do it twice a year. Right now, you only have to do it once a year. So if you miss your notice, you have no internet access, you can't upload your information, you won't qualify for that month and you'll lose healthcare. And if you're in between jobs, there's no exemption. Kids over 14, you're not exempt. Disabled, technically exempt, but you still have to prove it on paper. Arkansas tried this before and 18,000 people lost coverage, and not because they stopped working, it's because the paperwork was too confusing and too complicated. Oh, I forgot to say, starting December 31st, you have to prove that you are working 80 hours a month, and there's not an exemption if you're unemployed. Can't find a job? There is no exemption for that. There's no, I've been applying and I can't get hired, because we all know how long it can take sometimes to actually land a job. You either have 80 hours logged or you lose your health care. And I know how hard it is to apply for Medicaid because my husband was laid off last year. And so during his unemployment, we had to apply. It took so long. You fill out so many different forms, answer so many questions. You have to have so much paperwork. It's crazy. It's so hard and taxing. Like, they do that on purpose, so you just give up, I swear. So it's not easy to abuse that system. It's like very, very organized and very precise. So share this. Let people know who are on Medicaid and SNAP.
Or there will be errors on there that's going to cause them to say, nah, look, your paperwork was wrong. You got to reapply. Or whatever they're going to do, which now starts over their time, which now denies them because they didn't get the paperwork in the 30 days. They could say that it wasn't correctly done. So people are going to be without health care and without food and without a home, because Section 8 going to get cut off too, So it's going to be all bad for millions of Americans in the next couple of months. Everything is uncertain in America right now.